in the video, past Commodore Gravino said, you can't move forward looking back. And I would also add to that, that we really don't have a future unless we also look at our past. And that's what those 3 videos were about. Looking at where we came, how we got here. It was over a period of 5 watch years. It wasn't just those people, it was people that participated in committees, and as past Commodore Matron said, so many people did. But it's always really about the membership. So think about how we got here and where we're going. And with that, I'd like to turn it over to our General Manager and COO, Bernie Kloppenberg.
Is everybody having a good time? I think you're all right. All right. I'm here to announce a gentleman, Mr. Jack Sullivan. He's from Copeland and Keebler. Jack is a leader in the industry, particularly in yacht clubs. Can you hear me now? All right. Jack's education is paramount to Parsons College. He had graduate studies at the University of Iowa. Some of his leadership accomplishments: a former president of Wisconsin CMAA chapter, national president of CMAA, which is a huge responsibility, Club Manager of the Year, Club Manager Magazine, Excellence in Club Management and Award, McMahon Group, Wanderlust Leadership Award. Currently with Copeland and Keebler, he's a consultant with specifications in strategic planning and operational issues. And Jack is the go-to person for yacht clubs, and he's the first one to help put one of our strategic plans together and onboarding for the board with Commodore Kujawski. I'd like to bring him up to present an award to Commodore Kujawski. Thank you.
Thank you, Bernie. It's my pleasure to be here tonight on behalf of Boardroom Magazine and Copeland and Keebler to present a very special award. This is the 7th year that Boardroom Magazine has recognized the outstanding private club presidents and/or Commodores in our industry. And Copeland and Keebler is very proud to be a sponsor of this event. Let me tell you a little bit about the award. This award was, again, established 7 years ago, and the nominations for this year's award were over 400 from clubs, outstanding clubs throughout the country, as well as from 7 nations around the world. The panelists, there was a distinguished group of experts who reviewed those nominations and selected the top recipients. And let me tell you the criteria for that. First and foremost is leadership. How a president, or in this case a Commodore, leads his or her respective club through the challenges that we face in today's world. The next is how, in doing so, he or she works with both the board and management, keeping them together as one team, working as a business would with someone like Bernie as your general manager and CEO, and delegating the necessary responsibilities. It's also the overall governance of the club in working not just with the board and management, but the committees and all the various members of the club to make it indeed the members' club, not just the board's club. And equally important in that respect is that the recipient of this award must have looked at the club as a whole, not just for individual groups or their personal agenda, but what's best for the club as its entire entity. This year's recognition included 22 Commodores and presidents throughout the nation, as I said, along with 4 other recipients throughout the world. And tonight, we are here to present this award to the 2014 Sarasota Yacht Club Commodore, Commodore Peter L. Kujawski. Come on up here, Commodore. You can stand up here while I give you a few more accolades, if I may. So for those of you who do not know, Peter grew up in New York, attended Syracuse University, earned his Bachelor of Science in Mechanical Engineering, along with his MBA. He has had an outstanding career in aerospace, and following that career in 2003, he and his lovely wife of nearly 50 years, Madeline, moved to Sarasota, bought a sailboat, and joined the Sarasota Yacht Club. He soon became very, very engaged, our favorite word in the club industry, and very, very involved in the club. And it didn't take him long after that to become elected to the board, work his way through the chairs, and ultimately become Commodore of Sarasota Yacht Club. Being the business leader that he was, it didn't take him long to understand that what he really had to do to ensure that Sarasota Yacht Club would continue to succeed would be to build on the previous 86 years of success and the foundation that the previous leaders and members of the club had built upon. You've heard in the past about the award that the club has received as a Distinguished Clubs of the World Emerald winner. That award, to receive that award, the club has to be recognized as a club that provides an outstanding level of member experience, experienced only by those of the finest clubs of the world. We then look at all of the marina and facilities improvements that continue to be made, exceeding the goals as you saw, both financial and overall satisfaction goals. The growth in the children's program, the Ensign Board, and all the different programs awarded. The membership, 88th Brigade, 644 members truly engaged in the club. A strong program for a private yacht club. Again, we talked about the finances and exceeding the financial goals that were put forward. All of this came under the Commodore's leadership, under his watch, and that's why the last shining star is the star for Commodore Krajewski. I present to you, in fact, Commodore, allow me to present to you the 2014 Commodore of the Year Award from Boardroom Magazine.
Thank you.
My pleasure. Picture time.
Thank you. I'm honored and humbled, and a lot of things I was going to say have already been covered. It turns out that I don't want to do an Academy Award kind of let's thank everybody in the room that is paying attention. You already saw the video, and you saw what happened in the last 5 years and the contribution that the Commodores and the boards and the members made. That was the first 87 years. I was in the 88th year. By the time I got there, there was a solid foundation built. And it wasn't just the 5 years that we had the building, but it was the whole can-do spirit that had been developed in the club, the camaraderie between the members. We were a club. We had become together as a family. And it set a foundation that was easy. So when I came on board, we could introduce some best practices. Jack came as a speaker. I called NCAA, I called Brad Steele, I got some advice on being a private club. I talked to CMAA, I talked to NCAA, I talked to Robin Stoll and Brad Steele, who's the Steele and Stoll team. We brought a lot of expertise in from all of the consultants, from Jack and others. We did the extensive member survey that you talked about, and then what happened was Bernie and a team went and set out with an aggressive plan to implement all of the ideas, or as many of the practical ideas as we could in the club, which led to all of the awards and everything else. And in the process, the members got engaged, we brought new members on board, that improved the finances, and it ended up becoming a win-win. I also have to thank my family, especially my sober-minded support from my wife, Madeline. She's never limited my time at the club. She's always encouraged me. I'd also like to thank my daughter and granddaughter from coming down from the frigid Illinois weather to celebrate this in Florida, and it's also spring break. But it was great. But the reality is, as we look at the club and go forward into the future, there's still room to improve. So what I'd like to ask is that everybody gets together tonight. Please stay. Contribute to the visioning process that's going to be taking place. There'll be some boards set up. Stephanie has done a lot of work trying to pull this together. And put down your ideas so we can keep making it better. And the other thing, if you haven't seen the blast, we've got, as the nominating committee chairman now, an effort to try to self-identify people that want to be leaders in the club. If you want to be on a committee, you want to head a committee, you think you want to be on a board someday, you want to move through the chairs, raise your hand. It's better than us sitting in a room trying to guess who might want to do it and then try to convince them over a few glasses of wine that they should, like happened to me. But there's a lot of people that have a lot of talent. This is a very talented club, and we'd like you to get on board and help lead us into the future. Thank you.